National symbols are far more than just visual markers of identity. They carry layers of history, culture, and even mythology within them. Take the Greek flag, for instance. Those blue and white stripes aren't random design choices. They're evocative of the Aegean Sea, a cornerstone of Greek identity, while the cross in the top corner signifies Eastern Orthodox Christianity. That's the faith that really preserved Greek cultural identity for hundreds of years under Ottoman rule.
And the 9 stripes, right? They match the syllables of Eleftheria Ethanatos, freedom or death. I mean, how dramatic is that? It's like their entire revolutionary spirit stitched into a flag.
Exactly, it's a perfect example of how a symbol can encapsulate both the ancient and the modern in one narrative. The Greek struggle for independence is echoed through a visual story that's rooted in both religion and freedom.
But let's talk about the UK's Union Jack for a second. Now here's a flag that's basically a mashup of 3 different myths and identities. The Red Cross comes from St. George of England, then there's the white saltire of St. Andrew for Scotland, and finally, the red diagonal for St. Patrick of Ireland. It's like a Venn diagram of British patron saints, right?
True, but it also symbolises unity. The current design came about in 1801 to represent the union of these nations. Yet, even within that unity, there's a nod to the myths and early Christian ethos that underpinned their individual national identities.
Unity through myth. Love it. But can we jump into the Nordic cross flags? Because those blew my mind. They're Christian, sure, but they're also like stuffed with Norse mythology. Did you know they might trace their design back to Thor's hammer? That's pretty metal, literally.
Yes, they're remarkable. The Nordic cross has become synonymous with countries like Denmark, Sweden and Norway, and while it officially represents Christianity, there's this underlying connection to pre-Christian Norse beliefs. Thor's hammer, or Mjolnir, symbolise protection and strength. In a way, these flags continue to project that same protective identity while connecting citizens to a shared mythological past.
And now Scandinavia leans into those roots so hard. Viking heritage tours are everywhere, and Iceland even has a whole movement around Norse mythology. It's like mythology has gone full circle, ancient symbols living again in pop culture.
Precisely, but let's not forget Spain. The Spanish coat of arms includes the Pillars of Hercules, which directly reference the myth of Hercules creating the Strait of Gibraltar by separating 2 mountains.
Yeah, I love that one. Hercules doesn't just smash mountains, he's literally reshaping Europe, right?
Yes, it's an ingenious integration of classical mythology into a national symbol. By including it, Spain connects itself to the foundational myths of Western civilization and reminds its people, and the world, of its enduring legacy.
So it's not just a cultural touchstone, but also this massive flex about their history. Mythology, history, and identity all in one. What's not to love?
Speaking of cultural touchstones and enduring legacies, microstates like Vatican City, Monaco, Liechtenstein, and San Marino offer fascinating examples. Despite their small sizes, they wield profound cultural influence. Take Vatican City, for instance. It's the smallest state in the world, yet serves as a global centre for 1.3 billion Roman Catholics. It's not just a microstate, it's a cultural beacon, enriched with treasures like the Sistine Chapel and unparalleled art collections.
Right, it's amazing how much influence they pack into such a tiny space. But can we talk about Monaco for a second? I went there once for the Formula One Grand Prix, and oh my gosh, the mix of modern glamour and that deep traditional vibe, it's unreal.
I can imagine. The Grand Prix itself is a perfect example of how Monaco leverages its traditions to shape its modern identity. And let's not forget the Monte Carlo Casino, an icon of global pop culture since the 19th century. The glamour isn't just modern, it's cultivated legacy.
Totally. It's like they've preserved this vibe from a whole other era while still feeling so ahead of the curve. And don't get me started on the Oceanographic Museum. It's just stunning. Sometimes I think Monaco is secretly a giant museum, you know?
It does feel that way. Liechtenstein, on the other hand, blends culture with economic prominence. Did you know it boasts the world's highest GDP per capita, yet still preserves traditions like Funkensonntag, this fascinating blend of pre-Christian customs with modern festivals?
Wait, what? Funkensonntag? Like Bonfire Sunday? That's incredible. Who knew they had such fiery traditions?
Exactly right. It showcases how even the smallest nations can maintain their cultural uniqueness while navigating modernity. And let's not overlook San Marino, often called the world's oldest republic, with constitutional roots reaching back to 1600. Its medieval architecture and festivals keep its identity vibrant, despite being surrounded by Italy.
Yeah, San Marino's on my bucket list just for that medieval vibe. It's like stepping into an actual time machine.
And that's the amazing thing. These microstates, though tiny in scale, play such a crucial role in preserving Europe's cultural diversity. Their survival and influence remind us that cultural richness isn't a matter of size. It's about maintaining and sharing your stories with the world. It's fascinating how those microstates preserve their unique cultural legacies so vividly. It really makes you think about how traditions and identities evolve over time, especially across a continent as diverse as Europe. Take religion, for instance. Europe has undergone profound shifts over the past century. Decades ago, Christianity was essentially universal across the continent. Today, though, we're seeing an incredible diversity, with rising secularism and a wide variety of belief systems taking centre stage. In Czechia, for instance, over 70% of the population identifies as non-religious. It's staggering compared to just a century ago.
Yeah, Czechia is like the secular superstar, isn't it? But Estonia's up there too, with about 60% non-religious. It's funny because both countries are so steeped in history. You'd expect more connection to faith through tradition or something, right?
You'd think so, but it's really a reflection of larger trends across Europe. In Eastern Europe, you'll often find a strong sense of religious identity. Take Orthodox Christianity in Greece or Russia. But the actual practice doesn't always align. I saw this firsthand travelling through Romania and Ukraine. So many people profoundly identify as Orthodox, yet the churches on a Sunday, well, they're not as full as you might imagine.
That's wild. Like, you're proud to be Orthodox or Catholic, but it's more of a cultural thing than an actual spiritual practice?
Exactly. Religion as heritage, almost. But here's the interesting counterpoint. While mainstream religious practices are declining, interest in ancient folklore and mythology is surging. In Scandinavia, for example, Norse mythology is having a cultural renaissance. Viking heritage tours, the Asatru religious movement, even Thor becoming this pop culture icon through Marvel. It's like people are rediscovering these older, deeply rooted stories as a way of connecting to something bigger.
Oh, totally. And it's not just the Norse stuff. Celtic myths are coming back big time too. Think language revivals in Scotland and Ireland, or festivals like Samhain. What is it about these ancient stories that makes them feel so, alive right now?
I think it's the human need for narratives that bind us together, especially when traditional frameworks might be losing their influence. These myths provide a sense of wonder, connection, and identity that people crave, even in a secular age.
And they're so adaptable, like take Greece, and all that mythology crashing into tourism. Sites like the Parthenon are packed, and they're still performing plays in those ancient amphitheatres, blending past and present seamlessly.
Precisely. Ancient myths are being revived not just as relics of the past, but as living elements of modern identity, whether through art, tourism, or even in political iconography. Combine that with new narratives like Europe's environmental focus or efforts toward unity post-World War II, and you have a continent constantly weaving old threads into new fabric. And you have...
It's all about storytelling, isn't it? Whether it's flags, myths, or even like microstates keeping their traditions alive, Europe's cultural strength is this endless tapestry of stories being stitched together. All the old ones, new ones, and everything in between.
Well said. Stories that connect the past to the present, shaping identities and grounding us in something larger. And that's what this episode has been about. Understanding how those threads wind through myths, symbols, and identities to create the rich cultural landscape we see today.
Right. And on that note, we're wrapping up for today. This has been such a fascinating dive. Can't wait to see what stories we uncover next time.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Until next time, take care.